Hey, Joe Diomede here, Brun, and permaculture came up in my last interview. It didn't get deeply explained. I'm here with Lachlan McKenzie from Australia. Been in the permaculture world 20 years, and I'll let him explain better than me. Locky, how are you?
Good, thanks.
And tell me, what is permaculture?
Permaculture is a design and management system for sustainable living and communities. And it encompasses all of the different aspects of living, from where your food comes from, your transport, your energy systems, your waste systems, and it brings it all integrated into one methodology, which you design and plan and then implement.
Wow. Okay, the permaculture in a nutshell. And so for the local man, what is permaculture? How could somebody in the inner city, countryside, how could we incorporate permaculture into our lives? And why is it important, do you feel, to incorporate permaculture into our lives?
Firstly, why is it important? Because we need to live differently than we basically have been as a overall society. We need to be more sustainable, we need to be more local, we need to be more frugal with our resources and understand how precious they all are. We need to look at life from a point of view of not actually creating waste, but reusing all of our resources again and again and again, and optimizing that on an individual and on a community and on a national level. So permaculture looks at that sustainability model, but as an abundantly sustainable, not just sustainable to survive, but actually to create something which is regenerative and better and better. So environmentally, but also people are realizing now permaculture is about social and culture, because our culture is quite individualistic and fractured in a lot of ways and not very healthy. So we're looking at how we can improve that and get back to more community-based systems. So how we do that can be looking at say we've got a house, and we can look at where our energy comes from, what are our inputs, how we can make the house use less energy, where our cooking fuel comes from, our heating. And then where does our food come from? Can we have a bit of food? Can we have a garden? Can we have chickens and other animals? Like, beyond that, not many of us can actually grow all our food. So we look at, where does our food actually come from? Can we get it from local markets? Can we support our local systems?
Right, okay. So when you say all those things, I guess there's one part economics. I mean, that affects personal economics as well as national economics, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And we're not saying that we need to completely change everything from a point of view of starting again. But what we can do is we can make that change just by looking at how we live our lives, and then where we put our money. And then that actually goes forward towards making that overall change from our own point of view. But we also do need to look at the economic structures on a bigger scale as well. I'll leave that for experts who know more about the economics on a bigger scale, but that's part of the change that we need to see.
Sure, permaculture affects every part of our life. Excellent, thank you. And there's Permaculture magazine as well. That's a UK based, but you have actually written a book, and it's based on permaculture in the tropics. So just fill me in just quickly as we wrap this up. What's that book about? How can people access it? How does permaculture in the tropics affect permaculture where we live, not in the tropical area?
Originally, I was very lucky to live in East Timor for 5 years after they became independent. East Timor is a small country near Indonesia, just above Australia. And I worked with a local group there who are doing amazing permaculture work, and I created a book with them. And now we've adapted, and we are changing that book to become a general tropical permaculture book for all developing countries and all tropical countries, but specifically for improving resilience, and especially with climate change kicking in, people need to be able to adapt and be independent and resilient. So it's a very practical book, and it's called Tropical Permaculture Guidebook. People can look it up on Facebook, or they can look up our website, permacultureguidebook.org. And we're going to have it out there. It's very important to share this because it's going to be for free for the people who need it. So we're raising money to produce the book so that it can be free online for the people who need it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Locky. I'll show just a quick, there you go. And that was Lachlan McKenzie. Here we are from Montbron, France. Joe Diomede saying thanks, Lucky, and talk to you again. Bye.